Thank you, Kilkenny. And I'd just like to start first, as we're all canvassed in the last 3-4 months, every TD in this House was canvassed for funding from the budget. I just want to highlight some of the local ones here first, and start with that, Minister, to you. And I'm going to talk about SOS, who are a group who are funded under Section 39 in Kilkenny. And they look after disabled from children up to adult and all the way through. And I just want to give you statistics about in Carlow, Kilkenny in 2015 overnights there were 4,521 respite overnight stays. In 2018 there was 1,721, a drop of 2,800 respite nights, and that's a 61 or 62% decrease. This is a group that are trying to supply and look after people and parents who are at their ends, trying to look after these people, and that was as after happened to them. They're funding, they're trying to fundraising, and they're short of money. And under Section 39, I've written to the HSE, I've written to yourselves, I've written to everyone, and they want more funding. I'm just trying to highlight that first. And now is the time to talk about it at budget time. I'd also like to talk about the 10 community support care homes or residential care centres in Kilkenny and Carlow, 8 of them in Kilkenny and 2 of them in Carlow. These are not all over the country as much as we're lucky, we're ahead of it. These look after elderly people as well. Mostly people that are on their own, have no one to look after them, and there are hundreds of them looked after, and they have to fundraise themselves every day, every year. They have to fundraise to try to keep these people in place. But you Minister, I think we're down there. I think one of the ministers down with John Paul, my colleague in Kilkenny, I went around and saw at first hand the service they are given to people. And if these weren't looked after in these care homes, they would be in private nursing homes or in hospitals, and more burden on it. And I think something needs to be done to give them a few pounds that they need extra, a few bob that they need extra to keep the service on the road. And if they don't get it, some of these community centres are going to close down. So I'm asking the Minister to look at that as well. And I just Horse Sport Ireland, another group I met, again, Horse Sport Ireland, another group who are, I'm going from one thing to another now, but it's just these are groups I met who are doing a great job all over the world in Irish thoroughbred horses. And a small amount of money would keep them, it would help them out too, and which will bring back in triple and 100 times back what the money be spent on them. And the last one I'm going to mention is the No Name Club in Kilkenny, who are looking for a few small bob as well under Section 39, and they are set up years ago, and they to keep people from drinking, young people in particular, from getting into alcohol, and they give alternatives to it, and a small amount of money will help them. I just highlighting them because they're local issues, and I think the Minister, this is the time to highlight them. Now, I also have concerns, now I go to the budget in general, I also have concerns about the carbon tax measures introduced in yesterday's budget. Obviously, the devil is always in the detail, and we are still crunching the numbers and digesting a lot of the information, but the increases to carbon tax will disproportionately affect rural Ireland, where I come from. I understand that climate change is a very important issue, but I don't believe the Government has fully thought through how this measure will affect some people more than others. I think they could have made more of an effort to research the effects of these increases and worked harder to find some sort of middle ground. The Taoiseach and Minister Dunne have said that the tax will be introduced gradually to allow those affected to plan ahead. The attitude here seems to be we're increasing carbon tax, you should plan accordingly, but the hands-off approach will not work. The Government needs to engage in public consultation across the board with a view to taking ownership of the tax hike and take a leadership role in assisting all sectors of society to plan ahead for further increases which are set to be introduced annually. If Minister O'Donnell has really been informed by the experience of the water charges, as he claims, then surely he will see the importance in engaging with the public, hearing their concerns, learning of their needs and respect, and taking definitive action. Rural communities at large are disappointed with the increase in carbon tax. The tax, which is designed to change behaviour, probably will have a limited effect, in my opinion, because most people cannot afford to change to the more expensive alternatives or dramatically retrofit their homes. The cost is even greater for households dependent on home heating oil, and retrofitting grants should be looked at the properly need to be made available across the board, especially to those on lower incomes who are reliant on fossil fuels to heat their homes. While Gail's own TDs have mentioned that this tax will disproportionately affect rural Ireland, Dublin-based Deputy Kate O'Connell said yesterday, I think, the Government is very aware there are people out there who will be burdened with a huge tax, particularly those in rural Ireland who rely on solid fuels. She said supports for retrofitting homes in rural Ireland would give support to people living in these homes so they are not faced with a big bill. Rural-based TD Marcella Cochran Kennedy also has admitted that there is a massive retrofitting programme required across the country. She put our own County Offaly and the Midlands forward as a fantastic pilot for that, which is being proposed, before admitting that the people of rural Offaly are going to be disproportionately affected. It is widely accepted across all sides of the House that the farming and haulage sectors are among the most exposed to Brexit. But the cost of doing business for them will obviously rise significantly and will increase in carbon tax at a time when the margins could not be tighter. It is the last thing they need. I want to ask you, Minister, whether you can a clarification on the rebate. There's different rumours going around. The rebate is 6.5 cents per litre at the moment. I've been contacted by haulers today that has gone down to 5%. I'd like to have that clarified. That would be a massive decrease in a time when Brexit is coming around the corner and hauliers are going to be affected more than anyone else because of that. Minister Creed has stated that farmers using green diesel on their farms will not be overly disaffected by the rise in taxes, as they will be entitled to a refund through their tax system. We need more concrete detail on this as urgently as possible, but it is important to note that not every farmer has a green diesel supply on their own farms, especially for small farmers. People might not believe that, but people do not have their own supply. They have to get it from the local supplier because they're not big enough to afford tanks of 300 gallons plus. Commuters are going to have to endure a significant increase in their travel to work costs. They are hard-working people of the squeezed middle who are already keeping the economy going and have done so for years, especially during the economy downturn. They will seem to be forgotten in every Fine Gael budget, and I expect to plough on as normal. The Taoiseach has done nothing for these people since his famous quote about a Taoiseach for those who get up early in the morning. And I have spoken to families in Kilkenny, and either the father or mother may not see their young children who have commuted to Dublin for maybe a few hours every day during the week because they're commuting today, and these need to be looked after. I know I'm out of time, Carlow, so I'd better stop here, even though I could keep going for a while, especially when I went into the farmers. I have a lot more to say about the situation they're finding with the beef, etc. Which is...
You'll get the opportunity again, I'm sure, Deputy. Thank you very much.